Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back for a brand new video. Now it's going to be the video that's been tweeted tremendously amount. Before I get into it, I just want to introduce Snags to the channel who's going to be joining me on this adventure. Over to you, Snags.
Evening everyone.
Still not got that intro.
It's me, Snags here. We welcome a chase podcast and marker under there. There we go. How's that?
That's perfect. That's better. Today we're going to be doing it because last season obviously I done it by myself and I was completely wrong. I only got 3 correct positions, 12, which was great. We're going to be going against Snags and we're also got an expert. Are we sort of telling them who them is? Do you want to tell them who the expert is on the channel who's going to be going up against us?
So the expert we're going up against is none other than Dougie Wright, aka Dougie Analysis, at Dougie_analysis on Twitter. If you don't follow him, please do, because his analysis about games tactics is superb. We used it a lot in the podcast last season, where he does the videos of the match footage and then highlights key areas of the attack where the defense went wrong and stuff like that. It's really, really good. So he's kindly provided me with his predictions. So we're going to see how we fare against him,
which is probably going to be a massacre. But I'll put all that in the description as well, so make sure to go and check him, follow him. But let's just kick off this bad boy in the 12th position, because I feel like mine's going to be completely different for yours, because I went for a few surprises, but let's just start it. 12th, I'm going to go Hamilton, and the reason that I personally went Hamilton is they scraped it last season. They've sort of been down, near the dent, and I think just like Wigan a few years ago in the Premier League, their time will eventually come. They've not really got a goal scorer, their defence is leaky, they've not really got a great overall midfield, so I'm putting them down. I think their time's finally up and their ticket's about to be punched. What do you, Snags?
I'm going to go for Kilmarnock. They lost a lot of players last season because they had a shitload of loanees, and I think they're going to heavily rely on Chris Boyd and a load of Waynes, which I don't think is going to work out well for them.
You can't win anything with kids. Remember, Alan Hansen said that.
So they say. And the expert has got Ross County.
Wow. Ross County. I've got them quite low, so that's quite surprising. But yeah, I take it it's because the Boyce's away. The goals are dropped in quite badly as well. So we're all different. So that's 3 different off the gate already, which is always nice. Moving on to the 11th spot, a lot like what you were just saying, I've got Kelly. I just think the reason, I think they'll actually be bottom for most of the season. It's sort of like what they did last season. But just because I've seen they've got this winning mentality, when it's time to come, Jig just seems to do something with the squad. Boys, he just pops up with the goals. The last 5 or 6 games, they usually win 4 or 5 of them, and it just sort of propels them. So I think they'll struggle for most of the season, but they'll just kick in and they'll just overtake Hamilton, who will struggle for goals overall.
I have got Ross County for reasons I alluded to earlier. Like you say, they've lost Boyce because their whole style of play revolved around him. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a huge loss for them, and they'll struggle to fill that gap.
Right. So, and who's the expert got? Who's Dougie got?
Dougie has got Hamilton.
Oh, nice, sweet. So I like that we've kind of got to be like circle. We're not like 2 variant away from each other. It's like 1 or 2 positions. So I think it's looking pretty good so far. I'm feeling confident. The 10th spot I've got a Ross County. Obviously they finished really, really well last season, but I think losing their top goal scorer. If you didn't have somebody that's going to score goals, they've never replaced anywhere near his quality. They've never spent the money they got for him back into the club. I think they're going to just tank right down the league. Moving on to you.
I've got Hamilton. Obviously, Dick Hall scored some important goals last season, but they've managed to hold on to Crawford as well for the time being. But I think they'll still struggle because every other team around them is kind of strengthened. So I think they're going to struggle big time.
That's it. So Hamilton as well. And over at Dougie, what's he got?
Dougie's got Kilmarnock.
Kelly. I like it. All 3 as I've got the same bottom 3, just in different orders. Watch us be completely wrong. Money. Right. So we're on at the 9 now. So I went with, I think, a bit of surprise. I'm going to go with Partick Thistle. I know a lot of people was expecting him to have a sort of decent season, but I just think they've not really got anybody that really stands out to me, if I'm being honest with you. Like, they're good at home. They've always been like, they're tight, compact at home. I just think away from home, they're going to struggle to score goals, pick up points. I don't think they'll have a bad season. I think there's going to be a bit of a gap between 9th and 10th, but I still think that's where they're going to end up, in 9th position.
Well, the surprising thing is you, me, and the expert have got the same.
Seriously?
Seriously.
I didn't feel like such a dick now. Yes.
And the reason is Lindsay will be a huge loss at the back and at set pieces, obviously. But Keown they've got in, who's got big shoes to fill. So we'll see what happens. Fairly good squad. Partick always well organised against us. So hopefully they'll avoid the drop.
That's it. They always remind me sort of like a Tony Pulis team, like West Brom and like Stoke. Like they're very well organised. They came what they're doing. They just didn't have that player to unlock defences and really push them up the table. So I think 9th will be a good finish for them as well. Moving on to the 8th position, I've got Motherwell. Okay, yes, this is one of my sort of throws because I just think everyone's expecting him to sort of kick on this season. Obviously, they've still got Malk so far, and that's going to sort of determine if he stays. They might push on and get a wee bit higher, but I'm going to go with Motherwell to finish 8th, just because I think that's just roughly where they're going to be. If I'm honest with you, I didn't see them pushing any higher, and I actually think Malk will go before the end of the transfer window's finished.
I've got Hearts at 8th, which is a bit of a shock horror because a lot of people will expect them to finish in the top 4. I would expect, but I just think, if they lose Jamie Walker to us, which I'm hoping that they do, I think that's going to be a key position for them.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, they do play a lot of possession-based football, a la Mark Wobbeton. So you never know; they might be able to pull out of it and do really well. But I've got them in 8th position.
8th position, and then over at Dougie, what's he got?
Dougie has got St Johnstone.
St Johnstone. Oh, that's a shame. Quite like them, just because it's my namesake team. I just feel like I always like to see them doing well. Moving on to the 7th spot, I've got Dundee. I'm just going to go right out with that. I just don't think they've got like an out-and-out guy that's going to get them 20 goals a season. I think you're not really speaking about any bad teams now because obviously you need a top 6. I think they're going to have a good season, but I just think they're just going to miss the cut. They're a solid overall outfit, but I think 7th spot is where they're going to end up.
I've got St Johnstone.
Namesake.
So I've scored them higher than Hearts. I mean, there's huge pressure on Skugel to replace Swanson as the team's creative force because he was outstanding last season.
Mm-hmm.
And McLean's another year older, but I still think they can kind of push the bottom 6, maybe even make it in the top 6. Who knows? It's up to them, really.
Has they got the striker? Is his name Witherspoon or something like that? Who scored that wonder goal against Sunderland? Is that him that plays there, or is that I can't really pronounce his name properly? But he's looking decent.
No idea.
And obviously the guy that just scored against us, Colin Hendry's son, just joined them. He's 19-year-old. Got a bit of a buzz around them actually coming through Blackburn, eh? So they've got a lot of belief in him. He's 19 and they're putting him in the first team, so never know, he could score them some goals. Who's Dougie got?
Dougie has got St Johnstone as well.
Now we're on to the top 6. This is where it gets interesting. And I thought I was going to get the dislikes in the video, if I'm honest with you. I thought I was going to get them by putting Hearts 6th, but you've toppled that a few picks ago. So the reason I went with 6th, and I thought that was going to be really bad, is because they sold a lot of their key players. If you look, they've just sold their captain, Perry Kitchen, to like a Denmark team. They've sold the young I can't ever say his name, Nicholas or Nicholson, the wee winger. He's just joined Minnesota. Walker, I think, is going to leave. They're like sold and gutted basically their whole team out. I think they're going to really struggle this season. Obviously, Callum Patterson's left as well, the right back. You just look at their squad now and you're like, who are these standout players now that they had last season they were all expecting? I just think they've gutted their team too much. No replace the quality.
Agreed. I mean, I think Berra and Lafferty will be key for them, but still I don't see them performing miracles. But you never know, they might prove us wrong. Yeah,
absolutely. Usually happens with me. Who you got?
Number 6, I've got Dundee. I think Neil McCann's going to work wonders there. Jack Henry, obviously, and our old friend Scott Allen will improve the team, but it's whether or not they've got a good source for goals is going to kind of decide where they do finally end up.
Just on that, just like you mentioned him, because I think we've already spoken to him. What do you think about Scotland? Do you think he's going to reboot? Because he seems to go down south, ruin his career, come back and then play brilliant again. Do you see him rejuvenating his career for a 3rd time at Dundee?
I don't know, to be honest, mate. You know, there's obviously a talent in there, but I just, for the amount of time he's spent kind of being chucked around like a wee bit of dirt, I don't think he's going to be too motivated to do well. I don't know. He's just got that kind of attitude, you know what I mean? I don't think he's right to make it big.
Yeah, I think it's a mental thing, just like you were saying. He seems to, because obviously he was red hot in form with Hibs. He chose the wrong. He could have even stayed with Hibs and maybe just kicked on and played there. But again, he chose the money option. Now he spent another 2 years just sitting on the bench. He's ruining his sort of career again. Hopefully, he kicks on for Dundee though, just because McCann's in charge. Neil McCann's in charge. Sorry, and I want him to do well. Who's Dougie got?
Dougie's got Hibernian, decent defence midfield, but need a Cummings replacement pronto. And they've just signed somebody today, aren't they, a striker?
Look at that name. He's actually a Lithuanian, and this is the reason I didn't want to pronounce it. It's like Dividas Bajivlinskis, something like that.
You sound like Baz.
All I need's the cape. So which position was that? The 6th we just read out there.
Aye.
Right. So moving on to the 5th, and I went for my namesake club at St Johnstone. The reason I put them quite high up compared to, I think, everyone else is just I think they've seemed to found this groove. Obviously, pre-season they've just beat Rangers. This hasn't got anything to do with it. I just think you look at the Sunderland result as well. They seem to be really kicking on. They've got a real good balance, I think, between their midfield and attack. And like I said, after the podcast yesterday, I had a wee look at that Hendry boy, and like they're really talking him up like he's got something, eh? So it'll be interesting to see. And obviously, he lobbed. I don't know if you've seen their goal against Rangers, but he lobbed Fotheringham for about 25 yards out or something like that first time. So looked like a wee culture finish. So I think they'll do all right this season. Top 5.
Good shout. I have got Hibs number 5.
Do you see them like kicking on? Do you see them just sort of struggling and then pushing on? Do you think they're going to be doing well and then just sort of fall off?
I don't know. I think I mean, so far pre-season they've done all right under Lennon, and but obviously it depends on how well they can hold the team chemistry together. I mean, you've already had Ambrose away. Well, what the fuck's that about? I don't know. So I think there's kind of a lack of discipline there. So it depends really.
Like you said, remember he did say they are the second best team in the country already. So maybe he's pushing for a top 2. So I don't think he would be very happy that we've put him quite low. But who's Dougie got at number 5?
Dougie's got Motherwell.
Motherwell. Decent, actually. Wow, that's quite drastically different for me.
Well, they've held on to Moult so far, and he's kind of their key player. So,
that's sort of where my opinion. That's why I put them at 8 because I think he will go. So that's why I think they'll just drop off there. But let's talk about the top 4 now. Getting into the sort of the business, like the teams that's done really, really well. And before we do that, make sure to smash the like button, lads. See that? Just throwing a wee curveball at you. Drop a comment in. Let us know how you're doing. 4th position, I went with Hibs. And the reason I went with Hibs because I think they've got an overall strong unit, but there's some reasons or contingencies why they'll finish 4th. As long as they keep their heads, because they've got a lot of big characters, if you want, like big people that can take a huff. You've seen Ambrose, just like you're mentioning there. Whittaker's sort of known today, especially during his Norwich days. He's having to be arguments with the coaching staff now and again as he's getting older. If they keep all together, they swing in. If they keep McGinn, they keep Holt happy, their big striker, they could sort of push on because I think they've got a good unit. And yeah, as long as they keep like handling and stuff, I think they'll be all right in that 4th spot.
I've got Motherwell 4th spot.
Bastard. I'm not like a right dick. I put them 8th. Fuck. Any reason why, or is he just sort of what you were mentioning just before? Like you just think Multy's going to stay?
Pretty much. Well, obviously, Ashuni does stick around. I think they'll do well. They're a very good attacking side, and obviously he's the man to take them forward. So. That's where I put him. And Dougie has gone for Hearts. He reckons that pre-seasons will do wonders for settling the side. So,
he's quite drastically different because I think they're really going to struggle this season, if I'm honest with you. But I think they'll still get top 6. Right, this is where the dislikes are really going to kick in. I've went for the 3rd place. I've went with Aberdeen, just like I did last season. Yep, I know. So I just this is going to be quite odd. I just think as a squad, I don't think they've brought in enough players. Obviously, is Maloney signed yet, or is he officially signed?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's officially signed. So that's like a good player, but you're looking around like they've lost Jack, who's depends who you're asking. If you're asking 6 months ago, he was their captain. If you ask them now, it's always been Shinnie. Jack's always been dead to them. They've lost a couple of players there. I think they've not really strengthened overall. Depends how they do in Europe. If they get through, they're going to have more games and stuff like that. I just haven't seen a big enough squad improvement. You look at the teams like Rangers who bring in a lot of players. I just don't think they've spent money to overall strengthen their squad. So yeah, I'm going with 3rd.
Well, I can reveal that I've gone for Rangers.
3rd?
Yeah.
Carry on.
I'm going to get chastised for this. Well, Rangers are going to be the biggest amount of uncertainty in the league this season. On paper, we've got a stronger side than Aberdeen, but the question is how long will it take the team to gel, and also, will Pedro Caixinha remain? All these uncertain questions. So that's why I put Rangers at 3rd. Ideally, obviously, I'd like Rangers 1st, but I think looking realistically from what we've seen so far, I don't think that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I can reveal that Dougie Wright has gone the same.
Damn it, lads. 2 versus 1 again. Right, moving on to the 2nd position, obviously. I've got Celtic. No, I'm joking. I've got Rangers. I've put Rangers in 2nd position. The reason I've put them in 2nd position, I just think with the squad that they've actually got, I think they'll start off pretty slow, but then they'll really kick in when the team sort of gels. Now, like what you're saying, they are a much stronger team on paper, but using that old punditry in BBC Match of the Day, the game isn't played in paper. I'm assuming the squad's going to sort of gel off. Pedro's going to sort of get the players that he needs to play. They're all going to get used to the system. That's what I'm assuming. And by obviously, you're looking at pre-season. You could lose every pre-season game and then go undefeated. It doesn't matter about pre-season as long as they play when the times come. Nedicorn's been and gone, so we've not got European games to worry. We've only got the games sorted from there. And I just think with the money that I've spent, I think it'd be a disgrace not to finish second place, especially with the money that was spent for Dave King and stuff like that. So that's why I went with second place. Over to you. Who have you put second?
Agreed. This is going to be the most unpopular thing ever, but I've got Aberdeen second. Very successful unit, and obviously, as you alluded to earlier, they have lost some key players, but they've replaced them with players that have been successful there before. So it's kind of not saying it's like for like or whatever, but I think they've showed up enough to ensure a wee bit of consistency, and obviously they've held on to Kenny McLean as well, the bastards.
Who's Dougie got in the second position?
Same.
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen, yeah.
Right, moving on to the first position. There's only one team left. It is obviously going to be Celtic, and the reasons why they're the best overall squad, I think it's fair to say, and it's annoying to say it, but it's completely true. They've got the best 11, they've got the best bench. You look at their bench sometimes with the players they can bring on, like some of the old firm games, the players they've been able to bring on, you just look at them and you're like, Jesus H. Christ. They've got miles ahead, I think, financially, overall squad unit. They know exactly what they're doing. They've got a manager that knows how to play to their strengths. You didn't see many tactical gambles for him. He knows what to play. And I just think with the players that they've got, I think they'll coast the league again, but 15, 20 points a game, to be honest with you.
I'm of a similar thinking as well, to be honest, mate. There's big rumours that Stuart Armstrong's going to go, who's one of the most influential players, but they've bought Johnny Hayes, and a lot of folk have been talking that signing down, but statistically he was the best player in the SPFL last season, so you can't doubt that, do you know what I mean? And how that's going to improve their game, take it to the next level, if you like. They've just signed that Cham guy, but I've not seen him play yet.
Yeah, that's right, the young boy from Man City.
It's a scary prospect, but unfortunately we have to be realistic, and Celtic at the top, and the expert has got the same, so obviously, because there's only one team left. But
mate, we've almost forgot to do the sponsor break, so we're going to do the sponsor break, and then we're going to recap the 12 spots. You need to get something to drink, mate, honestly. This is rookie error here.
I'm good, I've got it.
Right, okay. 3, 2, 1, sponsor break. And we're back. I've spilled my fucking juice there during the sponsor break. Everything's going wrong. So do you want to just recap your 12? I'll recap mine, and then we'll recap Dougie's just to end the video off, and then we'll go from there. I'll let you go first.
In first place, Celtic. Second place, Aberdeen. Third place, Rangers. Fourth place, Motherwell. Fifth place, Hibs. Sixth place, Dundee. Seventh place, St Johnstone. Eighth place, Hearts. Ninth place, Partick. 10th place, Hamilton. 11th place, Ross County, and apologies, Jig, 12th place, Kilmarnock. So my 12 is obviously going to be first place Celtic, second place Rangers, third place Aberdeen, fourth Hibs, fifth St Johnstone, sixth Hearts, seventh place Dundee, eighth Motherwell, ninth Partick Thistle, 10th Ross County, 11th Big Jigs Kilmarnock, and 12th I went with Hamilton in the bottom place. And running through the old expert for Dougie. Dougie's choices were first place Celtic, second place Aberdeen, third place Rangers, fourth place Hearts, fifth place Motherwell, sixth place Hibernian, seventh place St Johnstone, eighth place Partick Thistle, ninth place Dundee, 10th place Kilmarnock, 11th place Hamilton, 12th place Ross County. That's a lot to think about, that. So, lads, if you're watching the video just now, put your predictions of your 12th in there in the comments, and me and Snags had a wee discussion there. So, if you get 100% correct in terms of position on our SPF recap special at the end of the season, we will invite you on. You'll get on for like the last 10, 15 minutes to talk about it, and you can do whatever you want. Shout yourself out, talk to us, blah, 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 getting all the discussion. So, all you need to do is predict it 100% correctly. No one actually managed to do it last season, so the pressure's onto this season. So, just have a gamble. 12 positions, fire it down below. You never know, you could be joining us on the podcast at the end of the season. So anything else you need to talk about today, Snags? Anything you want to mention before we wrap up today's vid? I was just going to say, if anybody does get it right, I will give you £5 into your PayPal account. Buy you a pint. How's that? Cheeky. Now I have to fucking do that as well. God damn it. No, that YouTube money. Exactly. And make sure you subscribe to the We Welcome a Chase podcast as well. There'll be a new one hopefully going up tonight if I've managed to edit it out in time. If not, it'll be tomorrow. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm there every week as well now. So make sure to be jumping over there. I'll leave the links in the description. Anything else? Or are we wrapping up the video now? Done and dusted? Good. Well, we're good, mate. Perfect. I've been CJ Over 92. That has been Snags. We Welcome to Chase podcast. Thank you for watching. And bye-bye.